Moon Knight and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings both made a critical MCU mistake, although telling quite different stories in two different mediums. Avengers Endgame was followed by the introduction of new superheroes in the narrative, as has been the case from the beginning of the MCU. Phase 4 has enlarged the Marvel world in an original way, given that the next Avengers film won't be published until 2025 and that the Disney Plus platform will enable the production of a ton of MCU material. However, several dated MCU cliches are still present in the series, and one of them had a bad effect on both Shang-Chi and Moon Knight. While Shang-Chi and Moon Knight have connections to mystical and paranormal themes, they may also be categorized as street-level superheroes in the Marvel Universe. In other words, Moon Knight and Shang-Chi frequently function as more grounded and real-world Marvel vigilantes in the vein of Daredevil, Elektra, and Spider-Man. In reality, Marvel Knights, a Marvel Comics line devoted to more sober adventures centered on Marvel's vigilantes and other slightly realistic superheroes, has included both Moon Knight and Shang-Chi as its central characters. However, in the MCU, the fantastical aspects of those two characters were highlighted. Moon Knight and Shang-Chi both had action-packed third acts involving magic battles. Marvel's Phase 4 overlooked the fact that Moon Knight and Shang-Chi are more than simply their ethereal and paranormal abilities. The vicious vigilante Moon Knight was never going to arrive since the Moon Knight series placed entirely too much emphasis on Moon Knight's abilities and the mythology behind them. Given that the tone of the Moon Knight comics is quite similar to that of the Daredevil comics, Moon Knight may have been the first Daredevil-style show in the MCU. The Moon Knight series, in contrast, was more akin to the many other fanciful MCU narratives, like Doctor Strange and the Thor movies. The same is true of Shang-Chi, which favored to concentrate on the mysticism of the secret cities. Before Daredevil Born Again debuts in 2024, Shang-Chi and Moon Knight might have laid the groundwork for gritty, street-level MCU adventures. Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight in the Avengers Endgame ensemble. Despite the fact that the MCU has more realistic superheroes like Hawkeye and Captain America, a Marvel Studios production is still very unlikely to take the form of Netflix's Daredevil. Shang-Chi and Moon Knight, who previously collaborated with Daredevil and Spider-Man to combat Kingpin, might have been the leaders of a brand new branch of the MCU that put more of an emphasis on street-level dangers like Wilson Fisk. Daredevil and maybe the other Defenders can still explore that realistic aspect of the Marvel Universe, but Moon Knight and Shang distinctive cheese additions would have made it much more interesting. The MCU is frequently criticized for how similar some of its films and television shows may be. She-Hulk Attorney at Law even makes light of this criticism. That critique is especially strengthened by the fact that Shang-Chi and Moon Knight were quite comparable in tone and scope to films like Iron Man and Doctor Strange. After the groundbreaking Avengers Endgame, Phase 4 of Marvel promised to broaden the MCU and move the franchise in new areas, but Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings and Moon Knight choose to be safe in terms of tone and structure. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.